Hello, 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 hello. Live, live, live. I wonder if I just keep repeating the word live for the next hour, how well that'll go down. Probably not wonderfully. Can everybody see and hear me? Live. Hello, 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 hello. Can you hear me? Yes, excellent. Excellent. Good to see everybody. Good to see everybody. My fabulous assistant Crimson is in the chat and at the end of the phone helping me out. Not physically in the room with me today, but being my my remote feeder of questions. So the video feed looks better, does it? Well, I just did a speed test on my Wi-Fi, and according to that, it works. I guess we will find out. Oh, there's Lemmy. I think she's going to find somewhere on the floor to sit. Okay, so no particular subject this evening. This is random. This is random, folks. My brain, the bit that's left of it is I've sort of swept it up and poured it back in because I've been in the office the last couple of days doing super intense work planning stuff. So I've had a lot of driving today and a lot of intensive brain work, and I've Paul, do you remember the phase out rule? Oh yeah, I do. Eldar blog again, man. Thank you. Look what I've got. Still no sponsorship deal. Hey, phase out rule. Right, I'll come back to the phase out rule. So my brain's a bit of a puddle. So I thought, do you know what? I did think, I'll talk about Warhammer Plus and I'll talk about this, I'll talk about that. And then I thought, I'll have been home about an hour and a half and my brain will be able to just respond to stimuli, but will not really be able to come up with anything, which is, it's a shame because I watched Liam's live stream last night and it was really good. And he got super involved and everything. And I thought, what do I do? What do I do without the social skills, without the charisma? Hi, Kieran. So, Mickley's your dad / your Mickley's young'un. Hello. Hey, Paul and chat. Yeah. So the thing that Liam did last night was made sure he went down to the very end of his chat. Yes. So what I'm going to do is I'm rambling already. Obviously, this is rambles within rambles. I'm going to ramble the chat and maybe look at Discord. And we'll see where this goes. Yes, do I remember the phase out rule? So when Necrons, I think when they got down to less than 25% of the points of the army, they just disappeared. They went, yep, we're losing here, and teleport. Everything back, snugged up inside the tomb world. We'll come back and murder them later. What we're doing is we're deferring the murder. It's a bit like deferred success. It's deferred murder. This is a big comment. Max, the Medusan Hive campaign was pretty good, and it was pretty cool to see Sultan featured as a guest. Do you ever envisage souping in Traitor Knights with the 4th Legion in your own narrative games? Man. So I see the 4th Legion sort of acquiring Chaos Knights, as war machines that they co-opt and own. I think Beard on TTT does that quite a lot with his Iron Warriors, or at least did when I watched a few of their vids a while back. Quite a while back, 8th ed now. Start of 8th ed, I think it was. Whatever. So I definitely think it's a thing. I also see, because of the warbandy nature of a lot of the heretics, I see joining up in various ventures a thing that they do, being a thing that they do. So I do see that, although I think the Iron Warriors, to me, are more likely to link up with iconoclast houses, who are, basically just evil. Because the Iron Warriors, I see them less as sort of chaos worshippers and more as just evil space marines. Right? I mean, really nasty pieces of work. They do great things like take captured Imperials, gaffer tape guns to their hands, then push them towards the enemy lines and go, run or we'll shoot you. Oh! So, yeah, evil. So, yeah, I think when I do my iconoclast Chaos Knight house, I'm more likely to do that. Not in the short term. It was really good on the point about the campaign. It was really good working with Sultan. He's really good to do batter ups with. There's a lot of creative input. It's a two-way evolvey type process. Very similar to doing stuff with Winters, except in most cases Winters is leading and I'm being Sultan, if that makes sense. But it was the other way around this time, which was really nice. It was good. It was good. We had a great laugh. And I look forward to doing more. We already said we want to do more, which is good. We haven't quite decided yet. Are we going to do more of that campaign, or are we going to do something tangentially related to that campaign? Something totally different? Spoiler alert. I was sad at the outcome, but there was a little bit of bows and arrows against the lightning in there. Plus a few crucial things went one way rather than the other. I don't want to talk about too much in case there's spoilers for other people who've not seen the campaign yet, or people who haven't joined the channel or haven't had the chance to see the campaign yet. If you want to see this campaign we're talking about, it is a campaign between the Wayward Forge, Adeptus Mechanicus, with Knights, which is Sultan's army, against my Iron Warriors, where they're all both searching for the same ancient artifact on a desert moon, and they keep clashing against each other. It's basically like archaeology under fire. It's a great laugh. And so it was good fun. So anyone who wants to watch that, you need a channel membership, which is if you look in the link, you can see the channel membership cost thing for that. You need level 2 to watch the battle reports. And I was adding up the other day. Can I even remember the number? Can I remember the number? I think it was 64 bat reps I've done in total. I think about 20 of them are publics. There's about 40 odd private bat reps, and in about 5 or 6 different campaigns. Super excited about the next thing I'm filming. I've got a couple of teeny tiny bits left to paint, but the next thing I'm filming is the conclusion to the Soul of Nexus 2, which is my Sisters and Word Bearers campaign. So that is don't want to spoil that for people who haven't seen it, but the gist of it is there's a planet, the Word Bearers have started to take it over. Half the population has turned to chaos, half of them are Imperial holdouts, still loyal to the Emperor. The Sisters turn up, and there's a lot of fighting. And the outcome of the last game will determine whether the Soul of Nexus 2 remains pure or corrupt. It's going to end with the the Word Bearer's Endgame and the Sisters trying to stop it. It's going to be 2 parts. The storming of the Dark Cathedral, and then whatever happened to the ritual inside. We shall see. We shall see. So yeah, we'll be filming that soon. This early next week, because from next week I got 3 weeks off. So I'm going to be doing loads of hobby and channel stuff. I want to do vlogs. I want to do filming. I want to sit and paint. I want to build stuff. I want to listen to more books. I want to carry on playing Hired Guns on the PlayStation because that is awesome, and in no way led to me ordering the Necromunda book today. Such an addict. Such an addict. Ah, I saw my phone flash up. Is this... yes, okay. Crimson, already doing an awesome job of sending stuff through to the phone. So I am going to keep trying to go down the chat a bit as well. And I'll come back to the phone to see what I've missed, because I will inevitably miss. I'm like a stormtrooper shooting at a Jedi. I will inevitably miss. What's this? So Jacob Beckman tried Dawn of War on the PC for the first time in about 10 years yesterday. Thanks to you. It's aged like fine wine. Yes, it has. Yes, it has. I almost on a daily basis, I have to resist the urge to load Dawn of War onto my laptop because I know it's a rabbit hole, and not the kind of rabbit hole that she would want to investigate. It's a rabbit hole of like 40 hours to play through Dark Crusade and then Soul Thingy and everything. Yeah. I was lucky to get a packet of crisps. Okay. That's presumably got some context, Kev, earlier up. Okay, I'll do one. Doesn't seem like there's a lot of Death Guard novels out. Do you have any recommendations that are not part of the Horus Heresy? I do. What was it called? Which is what you want to know. Hang on, it'll be an Audible library. I will go and look it up. Random stuff comes out of my brain when I'm tired. No, that's Caiaphas Cain. I'm that at the moment. Library. No, come out of collections. Out of collections. Oh, that reminds me of working in a bank. Come on, library. How do I get out of collections? Quick, someone play for that. Or right, it's going to be in here now. We're now mere moments away. Buried Dagger is very good, but as you said, that is a Horus Heresy one. It is, I think it's called Lords of Death, but I want to check in case that's wrong. It's obviously longer ago than I thought that I listened to it. Maybe I should hum some lift music. Lords of Silence. That's a really good book. There's some really nice bits in there about how some Death Guard tactics, how there's some inter-legion rivalry, and there's a very nice bit about a captured Imperial officer on the Death Guard vessel and how his life goes and his interactions with the Plague Marines. And I love the way they use Poxwalkers in that book. They for me how you use Poxwalkers in 40K. How Death Guard use Poxwalkers. Put them in a line in front of their tanks. They go, right, we need a distraction. Open these boxes of 5,000 poxwalkers. Oh, yeah, they're paying attention. Yeah, we've got their attention. Round the back. Round the back. Love that. Just throw the poxwalkers at the enemy. Use up their bullets. Equally, totally not on that subject, there's a really good book called called Something Else. And I just scrolled past it. It made me think, that's a good book. Let's talk about that for a minute. I think it's called Brutal Cunning. But I might have imagined that in kind of fever dream. Brutal Cunning. Cunning. That's a really good book. That is an Ork and Admech book. It's sort of it tells two parallel stories about an Imperial world that's under Ork attack. It's an Admech world that's under Ork attack, and there's a lot of internecine shenanigans between the different tech priests who are jockeying positions. Some of whom are radical, some who aren't. And this one orc noble, and his adventures during the fight, and it's got a lot of stuff from the orc's perspective. There's really good stuff where he's saying things where he's saying Umis never make any sense, and things like he's in a big vehicle at one point. He says these Umis never make no sense. This door has got a wheel on it. You can't drive a door. Loads of bits like that all the way through, and how he influences other orcs. There's this one bit where it's like, okay, I think I might get crumped here, but I've got to pretend like I'm really hard. Then maybe you'll back down. So that's really good. So yeah, I heartily recommend that as well. Co-opt Imperials with handguns. That needs to be a unit. What? Just the proletariat just herded. Pick up a gun, go that way. It occurred to me earlier, I was listening to one of the Caiaphas Cain novels, and they were obviously very disparaging about the PDF. I was thinking, wouldn't it be cool if PDF was, when they, I don't think they do it, but I love this. If when they, next to the Imperial Guard Codex, one of the regiments, because they've got Cadia, Catachan, Valhalla, and so on, I'd love if one of the options was PDF. So, and that they were different. Maybe they were, I don't know, they were like a bit worse shots, like on a Ballistic Skill 5+ or something. But because they're fighting for their home, they get different benefits. I think that'd be cool. Or they're cheaper. It's like, yeah, these guys, they're all rubbish, but there's loads of them. Because the Imperial Guard generals go, yeah, okay, we'll put those near the front. They can be ingested by the Tyranids first. Then we'll counterattack with the real soldiers. Yeah, good plan. If you could create your own faction in the 40k universe, what would it be and why? It would be Traitor. It would be Chaos Cults. They appear almost everywhere in the 40k lore, but there's no way of representing them on the tabletop. There's no way of telling that story. I want to start a campaign with a Chaos Cult revolting against PDF, and then that developing, and Chaos leads turning up, and then the Imperial reinforcements turning up, and then maybe the Astartes turning up. I want to develop those kinds of stories, and depending on how those early games go, depends on how the story's told and what does happen next and what doesn't, and who gets the upper hand. And I'd love to be able to tell all these little vignettes. I'd love to have some proper rules for RBTs again, because the RBTs are on every planet. They're everywhere, and they will always be pressed into, if you're fighting a Gene Stealer cult, if you're trying to suppress a Chaos Cult, etc. They're going to be there. They're going to be front and center. So yeah, I'd love to see more like that in there. Do you play Sigmar or any other GW games, Titanicus, Hobbit, and so on? It'd be nice to hear your thoughts on those for a different video. Okay, briefly, I've not played Age of Sigmar. I played Fantasy Battle a lot. I still have quite a bit of Fantasy Battle. I've got about 5 or 6 armies for it. But not really. It's on my vague list of things to do, but it's time. Full-time job and keeping YouTube going and keeping members going and getting involved in Deployment Zone and other real-world things. That there must be some of those as well, but yeah, it's very, very time-consuming. I hope to do more of those in future. I've played a few other non-GW games because some of my close friends don't play GW games, so I have played some of those, but COVID's been a thing, so I haven't done a huge amount of any gaming other than Solo Hammer for nearly a couple of years now. Don't play the Lord of the Rings stuff. And one of the reasons why I don't play the Lord of the Rings stuff is one of the reasons why the Horus Heresy doesn't appeal to me as much is because it's historical. In so much as if you're telling a story, you can only tell the stories that actually happened. So, using Horus Heresy as an example, I can't go, do you know what? I want my word bearers to fight against Blood Angels. The only time that ever happened was the Siege of Terror. So unless I'm actually doing a game in the Siege of Terror, I can't have that combination. What's a better combination? Okay, I'm stuck. My brain's not processing that through, but it's because of having the scope to do what I want to do creatively. For me, most of the time has to be in the open-ended universe where not everything is predetermined. Traitor Knights says, "Whoops." It's jumping about. It's jumping about. It's jumping about. I know Beard has both, but haven't seen him soup them in a while. I know House Garanus is iconoclast, and the Veil of Merengard was originally made for them, but Fark also has more titles, if I remember correctly. Yeah, I think the last time I watched TTT was in the early days of 8th, when you only had to have the faction keyword binding them together. And I think that's back when I saw that. Yeah, War of the Worlds reference, Moog. Bows and arrows against the lightning. No, Nathaniel. No, there is nothing. Etc. How many green boys would it take to bring down a Titan? Very much depends on the Titan and the type of boys. Snake bites, fewer than any other. Would depend whether they're hitting it or shooting it. But I'd probably say, well, you only got 4 choices when you're saying how many orcs. 1, 2, many, or lots. I would probably say it's lots. He always wanted his Imperial citizens armed with frying pans and mops to play with. Okay, I think for me, the citizenry appears in the storytelling rather than, I mean, there wouldn't be much of a threat. Okay, you got Chaos Legionaries. So, okay. No, they're just dead. All right, okay. If you were to build a Squats Force, 1st or 2nd edition throwback, what army rules would you use? And what would be your ideal model range? Ooh. I would use the Caradon Overlords, I think that's what they're called, from Age of Sigmar, because they've got that sort of exosuit kind of vibe. What rules would I use? I'm not that keen on rules proxying. maybe one of the Marines. Because the Marines, you can have bikes, you can have tanks, you can have powered armors, you can have exosuits, you can have librarians. I'd say Marines. Or maybe Chaos Marines for the eclectic nature of the weaponry. Maybe. Traitor Guard could work well as allies for the Iron Warriors. They could. I see the Iron Warriors just as reliant, not. I don't know that they'd bother because they're just chattel, insignificant chaff. I see that their use just being to use the enemy's ammo. It's interesting because there are arguments for any of the traitor legions having cultists or traitors with them, but the ones that I particularly see as having them a lot or actively using them as part of their tactics, obviously word bearers, they use them to chew up ammo and as sacrifices and as fetching and carrying and probably an emergency food supply. Alpha Legion, guard elements allying with Alpha Legion, I would really like. I would like to, if they did a Chaos cult book, I would like to do a cult of that, them to have a cult of the Hydra in there. I'd really like it if they had sort of. I think they could do a cult book relatively easily and then tie it in. Maybe they could do Xenos cults, they could do Chaos cults, G-Stealer cults, and I don't think it would take too much to have a lot of common units that you then layer other things over the top of. They're getting good at just at layers in books these days. You'd probably only need a few plastic sets or upgrade sets to swap things around. Different shoulder pads on a Tau cult. I'd love to see that. I'd give Brutal Cunning a read to find out. Oh, did I miss a question? How many Green Boys would it take to bring a Titan down? Yeah, it's interesting. That does come up. And I could tell you the answer, but I'm not going to. Shh, Crimson, shh. That's exactly as you said. Crimson doing an amazing job as always. Yes, she is. Always an amazing job. Always, always. Mr. Squawk, sup? Moog, man, thank you. Make sure I also take some time to relax. Yeah, well, do you know what the things I find most relaxing are painting and building models. So I will be doing much of that and relaxing as much as I can, feeling very sorry for the poor swine who has to pick up my job for 3 weeks whilst I'm away because he has his own job to do as well. I feel very bad, but also at the same time, not. Grotech novels all the time. Yeah, I never read them. I've got one on audio, but the first 5 minutes didn't grab me. Sometimes sometimes an audiobook has to get me in the first 10 minutes or I'll spool onto another one and then come back to it at a later date. The only one I have not been able to get through is one of the Imperial Guard ones. It's with a commissar whose name I can't remember. And just the style of the narrator it didn't click with me. I couldn't just listen to it and be absorbed into the story. I was constantly, that's the word, just being sort of dragged. I was being pulled out of it. My disbelief was not being suspended. All right, Immortan Joe, I know you used to LARP, but do you ever play? I choose to lie to myself and say I still do LARP. It's just I haven't been for 10 years. I've still got all the stuff. Still got all my character cards. I actually had a LARP dream last night. I still have dreams about being there and doing it. Did you ever play D&D or other systems? If so, what was your favourite character to play? I did a bit of D&D. I was a half-orc barbarian who then inadvertently got reincarnated as a centaur. That was fun. Dwarf paladin, also fun. The very oh no, that wasn't D&D. That was Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay. The GM very foolishly let me play a Chaos Warrior. That was back. I was young and naive and didn't realise you shouldn't do those sorts of things. What else? I played a lot of Shadowrun. Haven't played that for a long time, but a lot of Shadowrun. Dabbled in a few other systems. Deadlands is quite good, where you play the combat mechanic works with a deck of cards and poker chips. That's good fun. My favourite characters always seem to be some kind of lightly armoured, sword-wielding spellcaster in some way, shape, or form. Often healers. I like being a healer. In the tradition of Caiaphas K, it means I can get away from the violence. No, I need to tend his wounds. You deal with the Balrog. Maybe you need to tend your wounds over there. May have to pay for Kieran to join the Discord. Hey. Yes, grow my Discord. Grow. Fly, my pretties. Or something like that. Hello. The new Orc book. I don't think it's not new, but it's not old. It's maybe a year old, I think. Hello, Paul. Hello. I apologize if I don't pronounce your name right. Josu? Sorry, I can't imagine I got that right. I think you should, Mick. It's always nice to have more people to talk to. Yes, well said. Hello, Shark Boy. And Mick, thank you ever so much for the donation to the extension fund. Man, it's very generous. Thank you. John is reading Brutal Cunning now. Great fun. Yes, it is a great book. Penal Legions. I would love Penal Legions to be in the Guard book or the Traitor Cults book. Yeah, I've got some Penal Legion models, which I've got. I did them in a homage to the original Running Man film. I've done them with explosive collars, and the squad leader is a normal guy with a detonator, and I used to use him as a commissar. So if they look like they're going to fail their brake test, and the rest of them, okay, we'll go that way. Great days. Reddick says, "Hey Paul, what's your opinion on the new Orc Psyker? Sorry if you already mentioned this, I've just tuned in." I haven't looked at it in a lot of detail because I've been quite busy the last couple of days. Haven't had much time when I've been awake and looking at the internets. I think I read that it was not as subtle as a weird boy, and it was more about letting out the raw wire energy. I'm like, well, that is what a weird boy is. That's what a weird boy has always been. Are they now saying a weird boy is a more subtle kind of spellcaster, and that this guy is something different? It's certainly not how I'll be playing it. I know in the what's it called? The Beast Arises book, there is a psychic power that's distinct and bespoke to each clan. And I used one of them once in one game, and they just felt so wrong. They felt like subtle manipulation of warp energy, rather than just the weird boy opening his gob and green energy coming out, killing things, so he doesn't explode to death. Or just violent ways of letting raw power out. That's how I've always seen weird boys. That's how they used to be. That's how I will always play them. Now, that's not to say if they did a book a novel, which explained some kind of change in orc culture and how some orcs started to harness the wire energy in more subtle ways. I'd maybe go with that, but just to effectively sort of go, the orcs don't have any utilitarian psychic powers. Right, you can be the utility psyker. We'll now put in a destructive psyker. My chat's jumping up and down. How do I find the new orc models? I look under the fridge. If you lose something, it's almost always there. Or I look in the second drawer. No, they're not new orc models. They're old orc models. This is a new orc model. Look, I found it. It's right here. I like them. I like the notion of snake bites riding squigs. I do. I like the notion that they have cavalry, and it's basically snake bites, but without calling them snake bites. You can add snake bites to any of your clan armies in the same way that speed freaks are. You can add evil sons to any of your clan armies, and I am okay with that. I can still narratively just go, "These are my snake bites." They breed Gretchen. That's the wrong turn of phrase. They farm squigs. They use squigs for all sorts of different things. They do for food, for fighting. Oh, look, they've learned how to ride them. Yeah, all right. I love the look of those new AOS, basically hobgoblin models with the squigs on the shields. They look gorgeous. I saw that and I thought, must buy. You don't have time to do that, Paul. Must buy. So far, they haven't gone in the basket, and I haven't impulse clicked. Hey guys, hope you're doing well. Also, keep smashing the channel. Love it. Oh, thanks, Underdog. Much appreciated. Talking about PDF and RBTs, you'll love my Hive militia when it comes up and running. Say hi, but I look forward to seeing them, sir. I look forward to seeing them. How about Blood Bowl? I've played Blood Bowl. I have a couple of teams in my usual magpie way. After a couple of games, I've gone, I'll have that team, and I'll have that team, and I'll have that team. I've only played it on one sitting, and I have not enough to learn the rules properly. We started it in January 20. So as you can imagine, we got one Saturday all playing together. We were going to be doing a league, and then COVID. Recently, the guys have been playing it. My friends and I have been playing it on the PlayStation, but because that's basically a port of the board game onto the PlayStation, I still don't know and understand the rules, so I've been spectating rather than anything else. Hasn't grabbed me yet. It's a bit of a giggle. I have played Guild Ball though by whoever the Guild Ball's produced by. That's a lot of fun. That's quite complicated, and I really enjoyed that, although I haven't played that for a number of years. With my brewers who are carrying glass bottles and like hop shovels that they can smack people with. That's good fun. And a mascot, a cat called Scum. 54mm Inquisitor. No, I've not done that as of yet. I love the message, but the lack of your dudes keeps me from getting into it as I have Warhammer. I don't know what you mean, Wiggles. I'm probably just being dense. I'd love to have a squad of RBTs in second that allowed you to, as a Space Marine player, to use the guard tanks. But yeah. I have got some metal RBTs. On my list of many things to do is to strip them down and paint them in proper RBT's colours, because they weren't painted in RBT's colours when I did them. I used them as part of my witch hunters. So I used, having said earlier, I don't like proxies, and I don't really like proxies, but I used Imperial Stormtroopers, and I used them for that. Back in the day, your witch hunter army could be a bit of sisters, a bit of this, a bit of that, basically all the forces that an Inquisitor would grab hold of and go, you are all coming with me, and we are going to go do some stuff. We are going to burn some heretics. Yes, sir. Are you taking part in the Gehenna campaign? Okay, spoiler alert. Well, it's not really a spoiler. So I filmed a battle report on Friday with Gambit, and we filmed that for Deployment Zone, and it's a Gehenna report. So I don't know when that's coming out on Deployment Zone. And I'm chatting with the guys about the prospect of doing more. Because part of being off for a few weeks means I can maybe do a couple of extra bits. Maybe. Don't know yet, but definitely we've done one. And there's certainly the possibility of doing more, but I have to make it fit with my filming schedule, because balancing off real life and doing a lot of YouTube means I've only got so many things I can actually do. So it's balancing it. But yeah, done one. That's Orks versus Dark Angels. Guess which ones I play. My boss knob is no good at killing Titans. I did once see a Bloodclaw with a melter bomb blow up an uninjured Stomper back in 4th Ed. Like the mech had put like 5 fuel cells all next to this like exterior plate that he'd stuck this one bomb on. Like, oh, that was back when you had to do structural damage, but rolling high created a chain reaction. And he's like, yeah, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, boom. Great days. What's your opinion on playing a whole Firstborn Marine battle company? Yeah, I like first generation Marines. I see no reason why some chapters wouldn't create companies out of them. So I am all for that. Oh, yes. Especially if they're trying to utilize things that the Primaris can't, like drop pods. Yeah, a reserve company arriving by drop pods, 10 tactical squads and a command squad, 11 drop pods, a couple of dreadnoughts as well. Pick the bones out of that. Yes. Cozy the Titan Killer. How could I forget? Gozzy the Titan. Wow. Okay. I think you're having a conversation between yourselves, so I'm going to just move on a little bit. Xenocults. Yeah. Hydrodominatus. Oh, we've caught up with the cults bit of the conversation. Oh, I've caught up with the cults bit of the conversation. Couldn't the guard be done somewhat similar to your cult ideas? Brood Brothers, Traitor Guard, Guevesset, you get extra points for that. Change up some of the custom weapons and other loadouts. Yeah, that sounds pretty good to me. Painting monitors like a form of meditation. Yep. I like to know exactly what I'm doing. I get all the colors lined up. That's all the thinking is then done. It's then going through the motions, putting that color on the right bits, then that color on the right bits, all the way through, rinse, repeat, whilst something is making noise in the background. Normally some kind of television series that I am familiar enough with, that I've seen it before, that I can listen to and follow it, but don't have to give it my full attention. That's my zen. There's a rest mode. Hi, Jacob. Teutonic Knight deleted his message. The best Death Guard Heresy book is Buried Dagger. That is a very good Death Guard book, Buried Dagger. Hey, Shadowrun. Yep. Crimson plays in my Shadowrun group too. We play in the same group. It's a lot of fun. A lot of things die. Often us. Or me. To be slightly more specific, I've been through more characters than anyone else. Have you read Baneblade and or Shadow Sword? I don't think I have. Unification and Terminatus are also good Heresy Death Guard books. I haven't read those. Hey, Jack, made one live. Hello. And how Typhus screws the Dark Angels during the Heresy. The thing I like about Buried Dagger is how Typhon becomes Typhus. That's good. There's a lot of good background on how they are the way they are, and how Mortarion became the way he was, which is good. We've braided it up, Jacob. Okay. Hashtag missing something. Sneaky Orkses. Sneaky Hobbitses. I don't mind the New York side because it's a big galaxy after all. It's just another option / tool in the box. Yeah, it's personal preference, isn't it? It's personal preference. No! I don't think you're talking about the Orc Psycho Crimson. I can't imagine you're talking about the Orc Psycho. Just excited for Orcs not in horrible stances. Yeah, I know. The old Orc boys, of which I have many boxes still to build, are not the nicest models, but they are okay. They are all right, but it would be nice to have them refreshed. Do you think GW should write separate rules for competitive play and narrative play? Short answer, yes. I think they could be very clever about the way they do it. I think you fundamentally need a core set of rules that are the same across the board. But where there are variants for different styles of play, I don't see any issue with in the section on rolling to hit modifiers. This is how you apply them. And then little section, in red or green or yellow or whatever the color for match play is. This can't be increased or decreased by more than plus or minus 1. Only applies to that. You could also do summary versions of the different types of play. And you could do things like narrative play. This is one that Winters and I have often used. You could have psychers have access to all the psychic powers in their deck. You can only cast the same number. Just makes them more utilitarian. Means that a Space Marine librarian who is in all the books able to hold back the power of the enemy, but if he's taken the quickening, that says like, yeah, I can make myself go faster. Yeah. His head exploded. So did his. Yeah. Do you not know how to do that? No, that was Tuesday, mate. And you have to do that on Tuesday. What difference does the day make? Well, I woke up this morning and thought, I'll know how to do this instead today. Oh, right. Okay. How does that? Never mind. So, yeah, I think they could have variations of the different types of play. And on top of a consistent set of core rules, which they can't. The kind of the approach they took for 9th was, no, we're going to make this all one rule set, and it's got a strong competitive influence. But then in other sections, things like the strategic reserves, there are rules there that only apply to match play. Reinforcement points, I think, still only apply to match play. So they've already got differences between the different versions. So I think either keep it all the same or make it all, or have the variations. Don't do a sort of half and half. And I also don't see what the problem in doing different variations is. I don't see the problem. I think it would give a lot of love to both sides of the community. And I think both sides of the community are valid in their own right and deserve a lot of love. Where on the list of painting is that Gaskell Thraka model? So the Gaskell Thraka model, that is because I've got him because one of the campaigns I want to run is I want to set a lot of battles during the War for Armageddon. And he is in charge of the Orks in the War for Armageddon, in the same way as Dante is in charge of the Blood Angels and the Imperials on the War for Armageddon. However, I need more Imperial City type terrain. I don't quite have enough. I've got a good amount, but I need a bit more variety. But much more importantly, I need my Ork terrain, because there are going to be Ork encampments all over the place. I can't tell the story of Imperial raids on Ork held bits without having Ork terrain. So I need to build and paint my Ork terrain. I also can't tell the story of the Orks without a goodly amount of all the different tribes, especially the big bosses tribe. So I need to bulk up all of the tribes, and explicitly I need to get enough Goths to be able to he wouldn't not have them around. He will always have at least, I don't know, a bunch of knobs with him, or mega knobs, or whatever. There's always going to be some. Or what's the point? And if in individual events they aren't, I can't tell the whole story without having them there. So Gaskell Thraka is in the same pot as the Ork buildings and the Snakebites, the Goths, and the Blood Axes. So those together, and I could probably manage without any more Blood Angels. My Sanguinary Guard, I need to finish the Sanguinary Guard off. And if I were being picky, I would be picky. I'd need to do 2 more tactical squads and 1 more Devastator squad to round out my battle company. So I had 100 Marines. Yeah. So there's work there. There's work there. So it's yeah. Yeah. So that's when he is on the list. Liking for the Emperor of the Algorithm. What expansion would you like to see in 40k next? Necromunda or Apocalypse level. I want to see BattleTech Gothic. I want to see BattleTech Gothic, and I want Titanicus to have a contemporary setting. I want to be able to use Eldar Titans, Orc Titans, Chaos Titans. But one of the main reasons I don't play Titanicus is because it's set in the Horus Heresy, and it's not going to let me play the battles I want to play when I'm basically just playing 2 lots of Imperial Titans. And yeah, I want to be able to do void battles with hive fleets and tomb ships and craft worlds. Yeah, and plague hulks and all that lovely, juicy narrative goodness. I would love to be able to jump the same story across all the different game types with big. Epic. I'd love to have epic as well. So, big scale battles, epic, Titans, yeah. Individual fights, 40k, little squads doing thingy missions, kill team, the battle in the void, engine war, even Aeronautica, yeah, dogfights. You have them all linked. Is that sound effects? You have them all linked together. You say, okay, well, what's happening now is whilst this fight's going on, there's a battle for air superiority. Right, quick, play the Aeronautica game. Who won? Oh, the Orks won. Uh-oh. And that has an influence on the next game that goes on the ground, etc. So that's not one game, that's many. I want to be able to play all parts of the narrative. I would also like the moon on a stick. But the faster they do all that, the more I have to paint and the more games I have to film. It's It's a noble aspiration. Ninth ed rules are too complicated for me. Too much bookkeeping. I know exactly what you mean. We had a good ramble about this last week. The core rule set might be straightforward, but they have introduced serious layers of complexity into the books, into the codices, and my response to much of it is to try and ignore it and try and not let working it all out spoil the games. Secondary objectives. Every game feels the same when you're playing those. Well, the secondary objectives do have a little bit of flavor, but they make such a peripheral difference to the game. You're still saying, "Oh, right, well, I need to go in here and stay here, and then this other one, and right, I now need to shoot him off that. I can't move these." It was interesting in game 1. I was still vaguely engaged in game 2. I didn't want to play game 3. That's why I've done open war and narrative ever since. That's why I like the open war deck, because it's a set of conditions. I can say, right, in order to tell this story, we're going to combine this and this and this and this. I think it could be expanded to be so much greater. I think you could do battle zones and weather conditions and all sorts of other different combinations and make more of them. So you could really go, do you know what it is? It's on this type of planet. It's on a death world. It's on this. It's on that. There's a warp storm overhead. And that's the kind of complexity I'd like to have. And then I can have all the cards and go, right, just glance at the cards right in front of me. Not, does this guy have this keyword? How does that relate to this other thing? Well, it depends if this other thing has got the core keyword, and if this stratagem is used to give it to them, or if this other model is within 6 inches, that then confers this other thing that guy could confer, but he can't. Yeah. Open war. Even the Crusade camp, the Crusade system, is just more layers of bookkeeping to try and tell a story. It's one of the reasons I don't like it. Open war. Yeah. Paul, have you ever considered experimenting with a more grim, dark painting style, streaking grime and white spirit? No, I don't like me. I have experimented with that. I don't do it well, and I like my models to look like they've come off the factory. Yeah, I just do. I don't feel the same about them when I play them gunked up. I can't explain it. I'll have a ponder on that one, and maybe we'll come back to that. Skywatcher Adept. That's why. Oh, this is. It does jump about. As soon as I touch the mouse, it jumps up and down the thing. That's why I would like to know Paul's thought, as I feel the same as you, but I think if they separated two, more people would play. Yeah. Oh, the complexity thing. Yeah. You ever look at BattleTech, or are the Stompy robots too small for you? I played BattleTech years and years ago. I bought BattleTech and CityTech way back when. Because I was 17 and I'd been playing 40k, I couldn't get my head around the fact there wasn't any kind of point system with it. So I couldn't work out how to set an army up. I love the BattleTech computer games, though. Maybe I'll do BattleTech one day. It's on the metaphorical pile, and the metaphorical pile is piled metaphorically high. What I can recommend to any as a very, very cool BattleTech thing is the intro video to Mech Commander. Love that. Hairs on the back of your neck. Go check it out. Mech Commander intro video. One moment. Still no sponsorship deal. Firstborn squat marines. Oi, where's your beard, brother? OCD we do. Of course we do. I have never died. Did you ever play Necromunda, Paul? Yeah. Back to Shadowrun. Yeah. You've never died yet. Do you ever play Necromunda? I didn't ever play it, but I do like the notion of having a gang that evolves, and it's as much as I'm not keen on the continuity for 40k, I'm quite keen on the concept for Necromunda. You've got a couple of gangs fighting for territory, and they will raid each other. People will get killed, and they can't just call HQ and say, "Oh, we need another 9 battle brothers out of the reserve companies to fill some gaps." No, they go, "All right, we need to recruit some. Right, you try get that kid. You want to be in a gang? Look, we'll give you a gun." Ah, hey. So you've got a Jew who doesn't know what to do in the next game. So I have ordered the Necromunda book. I want to have a look at it and see. I like the idea. It's another pipe dream. You never know. It may happen. Who knows? I like the idea of doing a little series of a gang war between a couple of sides and just doing a bunch of different scenarios and seeing how the gangs evolve. Don't know. So I'm going to have a look at it, see what it looks like. Because there's less to paint with that. There's a lot of 40k scenery is transfer is reusable. Okay, you just paint 2 gangs, 20 models. It's a gateway game. Someone who loves the big stuff and not so much the smaller things. I have to say that your Battle versus Winters was one of my favourite videos, 40k in a long time. Thanks, Mark. It was a lot of fun to play. God, when he nearly knocked it off with his elbow and the Titan nearly collapsed, my heart was in my mouth. It's a nice quick game as well. My brain doesn't appear to be able to form any other thoughts on that. Sorry. Nearly did my squats as Space Wolves. Firstborn going 2 wounds put me off the approach. Yeah, I see that. Joe says, love it when you play the boys. Yeah, a lot of people love the Orks. They're a lot of fun to play. They're quite compelling. Hive Militia, when you got sick of waiting for Guard to refresh and making an army out of Necromunda mons converted to Steel Court neophytes. Nice. Don't encourage GW. Codex Casual and Codex Competitive for each faction. When I said they'd do one for each, I meant a core rule summary sheet. But they do it now, right? They've got the Crusade section in the Codex, which, as far as I'm concerned, might as well not be there. It's just taking up pages that could be used for lore or painting tips. So yeah, they do it now. That's still fine. Dwarves are traditionally tough in most settings. You could build them as one of the 2 legions exercised from the official history, even with a short Primarch. You're not wrong. That could work. Hi, Paul. Hi, Chris. Thoughts on squats? Yes, please. Bring them back. They should never have killed them off. I really want to see mad tinkering space engineers and all the weird paraphernalia they can come up with without the weird imperial restrictions on stuff. Yeah, go nuts. It's not a religion. None of this sort of emperor dictated doctrine. Just mad space scientists. Excuse me. Yeah. High taxo in Greece. Melting sunshine. Yeah, like a Forge World. Yeah, I can believe it. It's been rainy here the last few days. Armageddon, Orc snipers, poor celestial lions. Yeah, I obviously won't be able to tell every story in Armageddon. It will mainly focus around blood angels and orcs. Maybe I'll mix some other stuff in with it. Don't know. But it's because of the size of the list of things I got to do, it's so way down the list. Necrons are further up the list because the tomb scenery is easier to paint. I'm hoping to do that this holiday. And I sat on Sunday and built Sunday. And I did probably 6 hours work. I built 40 Necron warriors and 12 Scarab bases. They're quick. They're also quick to paint. So I'm hoping I can hammer through some Necrons and start to do some Necron campaigns. Although I do also want to do an AdMech Necron campaign, so I want to then hammer through my AdMech and then the AdMech scenery. Oh, it never ends. So many ideas. I'm like a random butterfly of, oh, that looks shiny. Let's do that. Okay, put it on the list. And then the list is... Paul said you contribute to the Armageddon campaign with Steel Legion and High Militia. I will bear it in mind, sir. I will bear it in mind. Who knows what exciting ways that can go. Titanicus, I hear it's a great game. The guys have got a lot of love for it. I want it to be now, not then. Come on, GW, do a Titanicus now, so I can have corrupted Chaos Titans and Bio Titans and Eldar Titans and stuff. So what you really want is epic again. I'd love to have epic again. I'd love to do some big scale stuff, but listening to some guard books tonight on the way home tonight. It's like, yeah, and this company was deployed here, that company was deployed there. All right, yeah, I'd love to have units of like 100 guardsmen here and represent some bigger actions. Where does one find the time? Love the Steel Legion. Yeah, Steel Legion are awesome. Oh, it's doing the thing again. It's jumping about again. Scary thing is I could actually imagine that, and it scares me a little. I don't know what that was in relation to, but I'm probably scared as well. Whatever became of the space battles in 40k? I know I'd love the space battles in 40k. Kiwok, you got school tomorrow. You possibly meant Kieran. Oh, yes, he does. He does. I sort of expected you to know that already. Not sure why I expected that. It's stunk like Man of War. It's stunk like Man of War. I'd have liked to have Man of War again. I'd have far rather they brought Man of War back than I'd have bought that, but they produced Dreadfleet instead, which is an instant and utter flop. It had no appeal. Okay, this is a random game. It's one-off. You can't add to it. It's none of the factions that you actually want to be able to play, and you can't reuse any of the stuff. Okay, no thanks. I tried to get the hard sell from the guy at GW. I'm like, back off. It's rubbish. It's not rubbish, but it's not what I want. If it was Man of War, yes. It isn't, so no. But it was back in the day when I think Space Hulk had been on a limited run, and they said, "Oh, you got to get it. You got to get it before it goes. You got to get it before it goes." You can still buy it. Sorry, I'm just catching up with the bedtime conversation. Nice one, Kieran. Good. Oh, hang on. Your dad will tell me whether I should be encouraging that or not. But then again, he's on here as well, so I feel blameless. Main reason I don't. So this is Reddix. Main reason I don't do Crusade is it's adding rules to something that is, in my opinion, better off being customized between the players. Completely agree. Have nothing to add to that. Completely agree. Oh yeah, I still prefer the bright second ed, first ed colours. Yeah, I like that as well. I'm influenced by first and second ed with the brightness of many of my models. Kieran started to paint demons. Excellent. What kind of demons? I might find that out if I read a little bit further. Measured in metaphorical fruit. How metaphorically high is your metaphorical pile? My metaphorical pile is a miniature mountain of kiwi fruit topped by a small mango replica of the Eiffel Tower with a 2/3 scale model of a pineapple atop it with grapes on the spikes. That is how tall my metaphorical pile of metaphorical fruit would be. They could be called the ankle saws. I'm imagining that's a reference to the squats again. Buzz saws, ankles. I mean, you could almost use the orc rules for squats. They've got the right sort of variation. They've got the right toughness, the right kind of weapons. Of course, all the squat players will now be flaming me because they're ancient enemies. Have you ever considered doing a multi-part orc game where you launch a bunch of flyers, then in the next game you have some mega track scrap jets? No, I haven't. But that is food for thought, Elliot. Yes. Vehicles being wrecked in one game lead to what scrap is available for the next game? Kieran's very own little pile of potential on a tray in the corner of the living room. Hi, Mr. Nub. Just need to find the motivation to do it. Jack is currently painting Astra Militarum. Excellent. How's the stream? This stream seems to be going well. We've got 85, 86 people on. I haven't seen any new members join, which is always nice to have, but the conversation's nice and free-flowing, and just going to the comments doesn't appear to be making anyone bored or run away. So I guess you guys tell me, how's the stream going? It's fine from my point of view, but it doesn't really matter if it's my point of view because it's not for me. I mean, I could do this, I could just sit in a room and just talk to myself. Could do it, often do it, sometimes do it, maybe do it. Moving on. Space dwarves for mad tinkering. No, mate. Space gnomes, that's where it's at. They're not getting pointy red hats. No. Veto. I don't care what eventually comes out of GW. I'm going to go around the world with a flamethrower if that happens. Smooth like butter. Good so far. Squat bikers were great. Yes, they were. They were just like leather jackets and goggles. Feet couldn't reach the pedals. Yes. Right. Oh, no, not quite down to the bottom yet. Come on. Where are you? I just paint the bases grey. I feel anything else takes away from the model paint job. What do people think? That's interesting because I find if the base is entirely plain, I find that draws my eye away from the model, as in a model is in its own little vignette. It's standing on something, and to take it totally out of context and out of that world breaks my disbelief rather than enhances it. But equally, if a base is far too fancy, far too elaborate, and doesn't fade into the background, I think that pulls it away for me as well. Rebuild your Firstborn Marina squats so they fit the modern scale. They can be one of the unspoken legions. Yeah, they're going to be that size anyway soon, so yeah. Going to be covering some storm vermin, converting some storm vermin into rattling guard. I think, was it Moo? Were you talking about doing a space Skaven army? It's possibly not something I should have mentioned again because that might trigger that all off for you again. you imagine being called something like Dusk Raiders, then being renamed the Ankle Saws, and new Marines are shorter? Yeah. Rattling Guard and Storm Vermin know them all well. Crimson, you're talking about our exploits on Vermintide with the rattling guns, and you stick your head out and they blow it off. And the Storm Vermin, you must hit them in the head, otherwise, ouch time, population U. Yeah, running around with the world's most psychotic elf. Half the time, Imperial soldiers there. Yes, fight, yes. Elf, shoot them from the back. Then just occasionally, there'd just be this blur of the elf chasing down like one clan rat with a sharp knife. I kill you! Where'd she go? Maniac! Goblin Green for bases. Yeah, that I still have units with Goblin Green bases. I don't have any green tables to play them on anymore. Use Storm Vermin as Poxwalkers. Interesting. Any opinion on clear acrylic bases of models? My opinion is it's the same as for plain bases. I find them mentally jarring. They snap me out of my disbelief. So I look at the base and go, that is artificial, rather than this is some background of the little sort of picture of where this model is. So all my acrylic bases, I paint and base. For the same reason, I have to have the acrylic stalk. Because if it's a painted stick, that instantly drags me out of this is a vignette, because there's an Eldar jet bike doesn't have a big rod stuffed up its bum to keep it upright. Do we need a Malal demon faction? I don't know what you're referring to. So I don't know. That was in relation to It jumped. That was in relation to rebuilding everyone's Firstborn Marines as a mutant chapter, former Legion of Space Marines. Yeah, no. The Too Short Emperor. Also have Astral Claws, Firstborn using Mark III, Mark IV Marines. Yeah, some of the early armor versions look freaking cool. Hello, you. Evening Dawns Apothecary. Thank you. You're liking the Winter's Bat Rep this week. That battle report in 24 hours went to my second most watched battle report ever. And if it carries on tomorrow, it will have been my most watched battle report by more than 50%. In 3 days. As opposed to my other longest battle report, which I did 10 months ago, which has taken a while to get to that level. It's interesting. It's just the power of recommendations. I get Winters does a link to it, and the views go through the roof. Through the roof. Painting Sororitas and Eversar and basing my scrapjet. All right, that's what Beric's doing. Good-o. My 10th Legion on the way. Excellent, Scott. I love Crusaders. It gives me a chance to tell interconnected stories and build up unique characters and forces without having to make up campaign rules or upgrade each time. That's great. That's great. I don't think Crusade's a bad system. I just think it's its own thing. And I think it's not for me, but I can see why it is for a lot of other people. I just think it's not everything. I think it could be its own thing rather than it being all of narrative play. Maybe what I want is better open play. Just different game modes. I want different game modes, and I want to not have the admin. But it's great for people who do like it and do want it. No problem with that. To each their own. We all play 40k for different reasons and have different likes and dislikes. The world would be boring if we all liked the same thing, because we would then obviously all play Blood Angels, who are the best Space Marine chapter. and Space Marines are better than anything else. So there you go. I haven't been flamed to death yet. John's finished his Mordian Baneblade this evening for the deployment zone day on Saturday. Oh, man. I want pictures, John. I want pictures. Just picked up 500 points of tau and really want to start painting them, but it's like 85% humidity in here. Oh, man. Yeah, you totally can't prime those. Oh, I hope it cools down for you. I hope it calms down for you as soon as. Space Skaven army mixed with normal Astra Militarum troops. They do talk about there being lots and lots of abhumans in the universe, but you never really see them represented. So, yeah, I'm all for that kind of stuff. I'll be doing squats out of Mantic and Wargames Atlantic eventually. It was indeed me. You learn this approximation 10 minutes after you ask the question, and I'm probably wondering what I'm talking about. No, it was you painting the Space Skaven, or definitely trying not to do the Space Skaven. Malal's the other Chaos God in Fantasy Roleplay. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. 2,500 points of Necrons and Tyranids I need to prime. Those space gnomes with fezzes is sounding pretty spicy. Space gnomes with fezzes. Oh dear. This is going to be a thing, isn't it? Malal isn't part of the GW stuff. It's from the olden days when GW didn't own all their IP. Okay. Hello from Scotland. Hello, Ark Royal. Glad you enjoyed the battle report. It was great fun to film. 16,000 views at the moment on the battle report with Winters. Yeah. That's the highest I've got is about 24,000 on the very first one I did. The closest to that is 11,000, and there's a 10,000 one kicking about there. And most of the others are all about the 4 or 5 mark. I don't know what I need to do to get out there more. I'm not very good at it. I watching Liam last night, I was thinking, oh, he's so good at this. He knows how to do this. I don't know how to do this. Must acquire people who know how to do this and look into my eyes, not around my eyes, not around the eyes, look into my eyes, and get them to help. Maybe that's something I'll look at whilst I'm on the holiday. Okay, Laments are the best chapter, I'll have you know. Well, them's fighting words, Beric. As Winter says, you say, oh, thanks, man. Thanks. Oh, hello in Puerto Rico. Wow. It's supposed to be 80% humidity all week. Oh, man. How do they expect you to do models? It's ridiculous. More Space Gnomes with fezzes. Wargames Atlantic have got some great minis. Yeah, I think that's the squad conversation again. Problem I have with bases is they're all like desert sand or city maps. Yeah, I like to keep them as neutral as I can so they don't look too mentally jarring on different maps. I did sort of think, oh, my Necrons, I could do those on red, on sort of Martian soil. But then when they're walking around in the tomb on your map, which is grey, they will look ridiculous. I'm like, maybe I should do them grey and unassuming. Let's be honest, guys. You can all fight for second place, but the Ultramarines are clearly the best. It's like throwing a firecracker into a hen house. Liam's been at it for years. You're getting started. You're growing a choir. No, it's I don't know. He's got that spark of charisma. I have to work very hard at my social skills. He seems to walk very naturally to him. So I'm trying to work out how to work on them, because there are bits that come naturally to everyone. That's not a thing that comes naturally to me. I have to focus on it and try very hard. This is quite different because I'm just chilling and chatting. But then sort of like okay, how do I need to promote this, and what social thing do I use, and who do I talk to, and how do I link up with other people in other communities? And yeah. Perhaps as members need to start sharing your channel on social media. Yes, please, Mick. You'll get no arguments from me there. My favorite conversion for Orks, mine or someone else's. Oh, I don't have any conversions for my Orks, and I'm not aware of other people's. Looking forward to finally doing some Layman Russes again. You've really got the banter down. Thanks. Right. Okay. So. Oh, was that a Blackadder reference? No, Liam, this is something different. It's spontaneous and it's called wit. Is that what I just read? It's now covered up by the Discord pop-up. Who said that? Who said that? Who said that? And did they say that? Beric. My hat off to you. So, oh, no, we hit the tail. Right. So we're coming towards the end, and I've rambled about very little for nearly an hour and a half. And I need to see what Crimson has put down. Crimson has done an amazing job of putting all the questions in here, but purely because of the fact I've not been talking about a topic and I've just been reading what's on here, I think I've covered a lot of them. I'm just checking. You ever braid your beard or style it anything other than the classic dwarven wizard look? I have in the past braided it in individual braids. I like that. It takes a lot of time. Grimdark, BattleTech, Necromunda, Hi from Greece. Why don't you read the WhatsApp instead? The messages are all, there's all periodic abuse. Not abuse, helpful encouragement. I think I have covered most of it from what I can see. Thank you all very much for coming in here and joining in with the live stream. It's been great to have you guys here. It's been great to rattle along. Big thank you to Crimson, because I got 41 questions here on WhatsApp that Crimson's put in and sent, so I can make sure I've captured them all. Big thank you to Crimson. Big thank you to everyone who has who's donated this evening. It's you guys are amazing. Thank you so much. And thank you all, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.